Hill climbing is one of the most popular forms of motorsport. Drivers compete against the clock over a tarmac course, typically around 1 to 1.5 kilometres long. It attracts a whole range of cars, from road-going saloons to specialised single-seater racing cars. The British Hillclimb Championship is the pinnacle of the sport, with over 150 drivers tackling 14 events around the UK, including Northern Ireland and Channel Islands. The contest for the title of British Hillclimb Champion is dominated by powerful race cars, with reigning champion Wallace Menzies driving a Gould single-seater powered by a 3.3-litre Cosworth engine designed for the Indy race car series in the USA. The BHC Cup runs alongside the main championship and is fought out between a wide range of cars, all running in classes of similar type of vehicles, from road-going saloons all the way through to specialised single-seater race cars.
For any commentators there, we're live whenever you're ready.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back. I hope you can hear me. I think it's working. Could work, might not work. But anyway, so good afternoon, and welcome to Prescott Hillclimb on behalf of the Bugatti Owners Club. Welcome, and welcome to our online viewers as well. We are live streaming on HillClimb.TV on YouTube. So if you want to see something that way, I think the sun's trying to come out, so this is going to be an interesting afternoon. My name's Owen. Lloyd and Chris are somewhere around. They'll show up eventually. But let's get started already. So we are third practice. This is the British Hillclimb Championship weekend. Today is all practicing today. Now, we haven't had a completely dry track today. It's been damp, mixed conditions. So some of the competitors were actually using that to test the cars in the different conditions. Right now, the sun's come out. It's seriously come out in places. It's still a little damp under the trees, but the sun's come out. And we've got David Wilson, our first runner in the afternoon in that Lotus Elise. This is a road-going car class up to 2 liter, which means it drove here, MOT, tax, all that road stuff. You're allowed minor modifications. You can do some modifications in this class. And he's gone across the line with a 49.79 to start the afternoon practice session. Next up, halfway up the hill, we have Andrew Feekins driving a Renault Clio 172 Cup. It's the early model. And they did a 172, a 182, and then they went up the model. So this is when Renault started doing the Renault Sport Series cars. About 200, well, it's got 172 standard with a few modifications. It's got a little bit more in it. Andrew, regular competitor on the hills, he's gone across with a 52.61. Next up, we have Richard Pates in the MG ZR 160. That's a 1.8 liter engine car with a variable valve control system in it, VVC for short. A little bit of a heavy car, front-wheel drive car, similar to the Clio. Slightly less power, and I think slightly more weight, so a little bit different there. Now, this car has less modifications on it. You are allowed in the road-going class minor modifications, upgrading springs, dampers. You can change your air filter. You can put on a performance exhaust. They have to run on a track day tire, or harder, if you will, but not the really soft compound ones. So the limiting. Lloyd's just joining me in the booth. Believe it or not, we have a booth here at Prescott this weekend.
We do. It's more a container. It's like a container for commentators, isn't it? It's like a little pen for us.
What do they call them when they put animals in the zoo?
Yes, it's a bit like that, isn't it? Yeah,
it's a bit like
exhibition.
It's
a commentator's exhibition.
So we're actually working up a sweat in here because we've got the windows closed for the noise, but I have a feeling we're going to try and crack this.
I think we'll get away with it. I think we'll get away with it now, don't you think?
So we might do that. We're actually not using microphones. We are generally this loud. So,
well, you are. Speak for yourself.
Yeah, in fairness.
Just a PA breaker.
Yeah, we've got, okay. Still not going to let me let that one down. That I blew out the PA system on the last runoff I did. So today's activities, hopefully we're going to get at least 2 more practice runs in today. Now the important thing is tomorrow. Tomorrow morning we are going to be on live streaming on air from about 8:30. That means some of us have to get up earlier than we normally do. We will be streaming all day. We will be doing 1 practice in the morning, followed by the first timed runs. And then we'll have the first runoffs based on the fastest time runs qualifiers. And then we do the whole thing again after lunch with timed runs and runoffs. So we've got a full day of racing this weekend. There's some very interesting... somebody somewhere has got an abacus slash calculator that's going to have a real nightmare trying to figure out who needs what to drop this to get the championship scores. And Lizzie Weaver, and that is the sister of Tom Weaver, who drives the Empire, has just done across with a 57.25.
Absolutely. I'd be interested to see with the comparison, because Samantha Lester and Lizzie Weaver, they've both got very similar cars. I think Samantha's car is quite serious with that 106 GTI, but currently Daniel Frail is on the hill with this Civic Type R. What a great car they were. 200 odd brake horsepower. Civic, those VTEC engines are fantastic. 200 odd horsepower, as I say. 6 gears, 53.02. Samantha Lester. Let's see what she can do. What did we get from Lizzie Weaver?
Yeah, Lizzie did a 57.25. Now the thing we're talking about, Lizzie and Sam in these cars, and they are probably prepared to the limit of the rules, and they are road-going cars, but they're only 1.6 liters.
Yes.
Where all the other cars in the class are 2 liters.
Yeah.
So Lizzie did a 57.25.
They punch well.
Sam has just turned in a 52.46. Which is only 2.5 seconds off the fastest cars in the class.
Yeah, that's really good. I have to say, the 106 GTIs and the Saxo VTSs, they do punch well above their weight. They feel well in excess of the 120 horsepower that they had when they were standard, but they are ever so moddable, those 1.6, with those JP4 engines in them. They are a fantastic engine.
Yeah, up to 200 somewhere, if you really spend the money, over 200 horsepower.
Yeah.
So the very lightweight car, so the power to weight ratio is actually better than some of the more powerful cars because they're heavier.
Indeed, indeed. Now, one of the best sounding cars that we have here today, Richard Snow with this Porsche Cayman GT4. Now, this is the 3.8 litre engine in this car. This is the car that was always designed to be naturally aspirated, as opposed to Robert Lancaster Gay's GT4, which had turbos on it at the beginning of its life in a 911, and then Porsche took that, put that in the new shape GT4 so that they could carry on with the naturally aspirated thing and beat the emissions regulations. So they're always locked in a battle, those two. Let's see who goes faster on this occasion. Now we've got our first dry running of the weekend. Is it going to be Richard Snow, or will it be Robert Lancaster Gay? What have we got from Richard, Owen?
Richard's gone in with a 49.66 to open the account. Looking at the splits, though, Robert is not as quick. Oh, wait a minute. He lost some at Ettores, but he's gained it back at Midway, and they're dead even at the S's.
They normally are dead even, these two, so let's see what happens. Steve Atkins on the hill at the moment as well in his E92 M3, one of the all-time great M3s. Beautiful 4-litre engine. Absolutely amazing. It revs to about 8,500 RPM. If you've driven one of these things, then you will know just how well they drive.
Robert Gay, Lancaster Gay's on a 50.02.
Wow.
Richard Snow, a 49.66.
Really
not much in it, 0.3 of a second, a little bit.
They're rarely separated by half a second, those two.
Yeah. Right, moving on. So we've got Steve Atkins in that BMW M3. And then we've got Robert Wilson. So double-driven car. Again, this is the great thing about hill climbing here in the UK. You can have 2 drivers sharing the same car. So we've got Robert Wilson.
Absolutely. Robert's the son and co-drives with Dad, David, and they used to rally a 205. They used to race a 205 together. It was the shopping car. It's a 5-door, but it's got an extremely highly tuned. It's essentially a very highly tuned 205 GTI underneath. But they've switched to this at least, and they're really getting to grips with it, driving it beautifully.
They've been a class winner a few times with that car already.
Yeah.
Right. So Robert Wilson's in the lease. He's just done a 49.29, and that is actually the class leading time for the up to 2-litre standard cars. We've got Rodney Isles in the over. Rodney Isles has switched cars on me. He normally drives an Alfa Romeo 4C.
He does indeed.
He's now went out and got a Toyota GR Yaris.
It was raining.
But this car is not stock.
Is it not? It looks messy. He's got some aftermarket wheels on it.
This car has done some work to it. We have several people running stock one, James Stocks being there. But this particular car, within the rules, he's got some suspension on it, and I think he's got some performance upgrade on it as well.
Fantastically capable cars. The most powerful production 3-cylinder engine in the world. It's 260 brake horsepower, 1.6 3-cylinder, triple electronic differentials in this car. Fantastic.
Isn't it nice having a really technical gear guru sitting in with you? I'm sitting there going, anyway, moving on. So Rodney did a 51.71. And James Stocks in his Yaris up the hill. Now, this is an interesting one. This is Peter Richings, who has been running a GR Yaris for several years. But I don't know if he got bored with it or what. James Stocks has only done a 52.86, so a second slower. But Peter Richings, this is 4-wheel drive road cars over 2-litre. He went out last month, or about 6 weeks ago, and sold the Toyota and bought this VW Golf R. 2-litre turbocharged, 4-wheel drive, got more buttons and whistles than he knows what to do with, and he is getting the grips with that car very quickly.
Well, ironically, they don't have any buttons. They've got this screen in the middle of them now. They've got a massive screen, and
touch screen.
Yeah, they've got these touch screens all over. But it is, as you say, it's the latest in technology, and those Mark 8 Golf Rs are very, very quick.
But he's got that VW getting the grips with it, 49.71, and that's only half a second off of Rodney Isles.
Quick.
Little bit tweaked thingy, so off the line goes, that's John Dunn in the Mitsubishi Evo 7 RS, but this car's got a trick to it. It's turbocharged and supercharged. It's double charged. A lot of power. Joining us comes up from the south.
He's Guernsey. The Carolinas. Yeah, he's got it. He's got the boost set up, as you can see, as it pumps a load of unburnt fuel out the back of the exhaust. He's got the boost set high at just the 712 brake horsepower.
This is ridiculous for a road car.
Yeah,
absolutely ridiculous.
And this is his daily driver, believe it or not, folks. He
drives
this car every day.
Well, in fairness, how far do you drive in Guernsey?
Well, and not very fast either.
No. So, yeah, he probably just leaves the turbo boost off. So, just to give you there, Alan Mansfield and his Yaris for the 5626. John Dunn's just ripped the 4807. And now we go moving up a class to our specialist production cars, and that's a Caterham 7 Super Sprint of Raymond Lohr.
Absolutely, one of my favourite induction noises on the hill climb scene. It's like it's got the biggest set of carburetors on the side of that engine in the world. It makes a fantastic bark as it sucks the air in. And Ray sharing with Joy Hoyle. She'll be coming up shortly. He's gone purple actually, so he's obviously kicking on.
He's the only one in the class at the moment.
Oh well, that'll be why then.
We haven't got anybody to compare it with.
That'll be why. But everybody's going quicker now. This is the driest. I think. Are we completely dry now? Do we think?
No, I think
greasy under the S's.
Up at the top there, well, you see just down coming up into Pardon there, you can see there's still some dampness here and there.
Yeah.
So anywhere the sun hasn't got to it, it's dry. The sun's gone in a bit again. We have gone overcast again. I'll have to say the humidity has come up a bit, so that's going to be that'll affect the cars too, especially the tuned ones. Malcolm Hickey in his Caterham 7, he is right literally 2 100ths off of Raymond Lohr. These guys are glued together. Raymond Lohr's done a 49.07. Malcolm Hickey lost a little bit in the end, a 49.38, so only a couple tenths down. It's only third practice and the first time we've had almost be completely dry.
Absolutely, yeah. We've got Rob Lloyd on the hill at the moment. We've got Steve Garner that's just left in this absolutely rapid Caterham and Westfield, I should say. Lots of electronics, lots of traction control with these cars. You would think a Caterham is a simple, or a Westfield is a simple engine gearbox, but no, actually in the hill climb world there's paddle shifts, traction control. They're pushing out sometimes in excess of 250, 300 brake horsepower. They are a serious car. Absolutely. Showing you how to drive it.
And they only weigh 500 kilograms.
Exactly.
So the Westfield and Caterhams, if you're wondering, Caterham has aluminium body panels, and Westfield has, composite panels, GRP, fiberglass, or anything like that. The Westfield's a little bit wider car in the world, but Caterham does a wide track kit, so it's just whatever they come up with.
They just look like so much fun as well, though. They're all. I don't think there's a Caterham you can buy that isn't the whale of a time.
I've never driven one.
Have you not?
I have not.
Oh, you must. Great, they are such good fun.
But I don't want to. I think I'd end up trying to kill myself with one of those things.
I think it depends what you buy. A friend of mine had a 360S, which is the kind of the 180 brake horsepower, 5-speed gear. We went on a track day at Rockham. It was one of the most. You can jump in it and just feel comfortable straight away, pushing on.
They are neutral handling, but they don't. I mean, you look at them, they look like, well, how's that going to handle properly? But they are very good. Neutral,
you can adjust things so quickly. Like if you can drive a bit, you will get to grips with the Caterham really quickly. But if you've got about 250 horsepower, like Richard Price has got in his, then it will probably try and oversteer a bit.
Yeah. Let's just have a look here. So Steve Gardner at 48.91, Timothy Higgins at 51.86. Richard Price is on the hill and he's done a 47.21. That's our quick time for these cars. Now what you're looking at here is an AMS Mertaya. It was very limited. They made about 20 enough. They made enough of them to qualify for this class. It's actually a Subaru Impreza under there.
It is indeed, yeah. It's as he gets very close to the barriers, he's certainly pushing on his John Pick. Yeah, it is an Impreza underneath. You buy the Impreza, and I believe you can either build it yourself or they'll build it for you. But I think you have to supply the donor car. I could be wrong with that, but I think that's what Mr. Druitt told us at one point.
Right. So that's Christopher Trisham. Now we're moving up a class. 48.51 for John Pick. So that's a good time. He's right in there in because he's got to go against the Caterhams and the Westfields. Now we're moving up to the modified class. So this is cars that have got more racy stuff. This one is still a road. It looks like it's on the road going, but underneath that thing's a race car. And then you'll see some other things like. So that's Christopher Bentley Jones in the traditional Austin Cooper S. We can't do any motorsport event in this country without having an Austin Cooper S Mini Classic or other.
And why would we want to? Why would we want to?
No.
So what do you know about this Tigre then? What's it running?
This has got, if I remember, now this is a modified production car. So the car can rate. They got racing slicks, no lights, not road legal. The body shape has to sort of stay the way it is. The engine block itself has to be identifiable with the original. But you can do anything else with the stupid thing that you want. And I called it stupid. Sorry about that. This has a 1400 Vauxhall twin cam engine in it. And it runs in, as you see, it runs in modified. So it's something different. But then we got this monstrosity, this Eric Morey in his Hillman Inn. This thing has got its sound all by itself. And if I shut up for a second, you might be able to hear it. There you go. You can just hear it, just bouncing. You get the suspension softened as you get the train.
I'm sure I saw it do a wheelie off the line earlier, and I think it probably just did again.
Yeah, just through there. He actually pulled the left front wheel off the corner, coming out of the corner. Rear engine, and very, very quick. And this is modified cars up to 1400. So Ian Sargent, what was he driving?
That's super quick, isn't it?
Oh yeah, Ian Sargent Tigre did a 5910. The Mini did a 5813. Eric in the imp, a 50.10.
Yeah.
And now we have Mark Maynard in this imp, and then we'll have Andrew Russell in a Jannetta G15.
Mark Maynard earlier in the greasier, when it was slightly greasier, he put on an absolute show for us. Whether he was going for, whether he was just going for sheer dramatics or whether he was actually trying to go quickly, I don't know. I think both happened, but it looks like he's a bit tidier, a bit less ragged this time, but still really leaning on this imp as he enters towards semicircle. He's just going to throw it in. We're not going to quite get the picture, but flashing into sight is Andrew Russell in this Jannetta G15.
Yeah, Andrew's been running this car since possibly it was new. He's had it for a very long time. Regular runner on the hills in the Midland Championship and the British Championship, and yeah, just very consistent with the car. We're just seeing here. Mark Maynard in the points for appearance and showmanship did a 53.14. Andrew Russell is actually, well, he's on par with the fastest car here, so we'll have to see what he does.
Be interesting to see. Joy Hoyle on the hill at the moment, sharing the car with Ray Law. Again, this beautiful Westfield indicator on, just to let everyone know her intentions, which is great to see.
Well, it is a right-hand corner.
It is a right-hand corner, so it's correct. But I digress. Joy's a regular competitor, knows this car really, really well. She just flashes through Pardon and Midway and off towards the S's.
Yeah, and Joy is actually, and Roy, normally you have one driver quicker than the other. These two will actually set the same time. They are very familiar with the car, and they've been racing a long time, as friends a long time. This is Simon O'Sullivan. So now we're moving up to the production, modified production cars, 1400 to 2-liter class. So hence the Simon O'Sullivan, and that'll be followed by Tony Feekins, this is his original car. He actually rolled his new car into a ball at Loden Park. He was fine, but he's actually now set a quicker time in his old car than he did in the new car.
What was the new car?
It was a red Peugeot 205.
A red 205.
Yes, it was a lightweight one, and
unfortunately
he went off and barrel rolled it and destroyed it.
Well, as long as he's okay, that's the
He is okay, and he's been back running this car again.
It looks like he's okay. He's going well in this. This pair. What's the collective for a? It's a
pair of Peugeots.
A pair of angry Peugeots. There are some angry cars coming now. This car, Stuart Reid, is very, very quick. He's going to flash into sight now.
Yeah, visitor from Scotland is Stuart, and very, very quick car. One of the fastest cars in Scotland, I believe.
A couple of wheels on the outside there.
I don't know if you heard that. We've actually got good speakers. You could hear he dropped the wheel off of the gravel, but the bottom of the car actually hit the tarmac.
Yeah,
that was painful to listen to.
Yeah, could be expensive, but looks like he's gotten away with it, which is great. Stuart Reid is just reversed now. That's so nimble through there, but off the line we've now got Stephen Darley. 800 odd brake horsepower in this Impreza. This is a labour of love for 10-15 years. It's the exact same as Damien Bradley's legacy underneath, which unfortunately we will be missing today. Has got an issue. So Stephen
Damien is actually going to jump in Stephen's car.
Damien and Stephen are sharing this car now this weekend as a result. So this is the best I've seen this Impreza run since it was wheeled out and unveiled a couple of months ago.
Yeah, I think it did at Harewood. It actually did quite well at Harewood, didn't it? Yeah. So Steve's coming through there. Just to back up, Tony Feekins in his Peugeot did a 5.088. Stuart Reed, our visitor from Scotland, did a 49.04. Stephen Darley's already heading around the top here now. He'll be one of our tin top runoff competitors, challengers tomorrow, if everything going well. A 45.94. We'll have to compare that. So 45.9 compared to our other tin top guys looking to qualify for the top 10 tin top challenge.
Say that quickly. Yeah, they've got the So it's a fantastic championship. The AET, sponsored by AET Turbos. I know they obviously do a lot with Damien Bradley and Stephen Darley. They set up the cars that they've got. So big thanks to them for sponsoring that championship. Brings out some amazing cars. One of which Nigel Elliott. One of my favourites as well. Paul Howard in this 911 RSR. Such a well-done car. Is this a class record holder here? I think.
Don't know. I'm not sure it is.
Don't think it does anymore. I think it held a class record for a while.
No. The class record holder is, I think it's Mike Edwards. It was in that Audi 80 four-wheel drive turbo 1.4 thing.
Got you.
And that set a record that nobody knows how they're going to get anywhere near the
Really?
thing.
Wow.
Yeah, beautiful car, and he took it to Europe and raced it in Europe. Anyway, Paul Howes is not lounging about, if you will. Nigel Elliott in that big V8 powered TR7 did a 54.50. Paul Howes has just done a 47.19, so he's not hanging about. And you've got Hayden Spedding. Now we've got Hayden in that Jaguar E-Type, and that's wide and handy. And then coming off the line is he's running third in the Tin Top Championship at the moment, Stephen Moore in the Mitsubishi Evo 6.
Super quick car Stephen's got here. This is, again, he's got a few of these, a bit of an expert on these Evos is Stephen Moore. It drives it like he stole it. Absolutely fantastic. That Union Jack on
Rumor has it he did. Anyway, moving on.
Super quick. Just pops it out of midway, uses all that power. He's going to need that four-wheel drive grip to get him through S, and then on through to semicircle. What's he going to do? Let's see. He's not good to go yet.
Hayden Spedding in the Jaguar E-Type has done a 51.73. Stephen's heading through. So Stephen's looking for, if he wants to keep up with the Subaru, he's going to need a 45, 46, somewhere in there. It's only practice, a 47.01 to start with. Now, be interesting. Hang on, who we got? John Bradshaw just launched off the line. Phil Fisher is on the hill, shares this car with son Ben, Westfield SC. So this is a modified version. So this is a Westfield on racing slicks. Lloyd suddenly turned into he's got the phone out taking pictures of cars.
You say of cars.
Of cars.
It's of a 500 horsepower Skoda R5 being driven by Roger Moran. That's a hell of a thing to take a video of, I think.
Yeah, but I already got pictures of it. Phil Fisher did a 52.76. John Bradshaw has just coming through, and that's a modified Caterham. Now, Roger Moran, this thing is uncorked, and he went and put the slicks on. He's got full race slicks on this car at the moment, and he is looking for a time. Son Scott is sharing this car this weekend, and Scott's annoying because he can drive a wheelbarrow up this hill and probably set a class record.
Absolutely. I was fortunate enough to be graced with the Moran's presence at lunchtime, so we were sat watching a couple of races of Goodwood in the clubhouse, and which was lovely. I had a jacket potato, but Roger was just telling me about.
Stop eating?
No, I don't know.
No, right.
I think Scott was slightly perturbed at the fact that Dad went faster this morning. He went faster this morning, did Roger? We'll see what happens.
Roger's done a 44.64, and that's quicker than Stephen Darley's Subaru.
Yep.
So, but Damien Bradley's going to get into that Subaru, and he has a habit of beating Stephen when he doesn't want to.
And it'll be interesting to see what Scott can do in that car as well. But I'll tell you now, Iron and Price earlier in the greasy conditions, bear in mind this car is about 200 brake horsepower down.
He was also on full vest. He was actually on the rally tires, not racing slicks.
He beat the Roger Moran car by a couple of tenths.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see now that it's fully dry what the difference is. I mean, he's purple, so Iron Price is on it.
Yeah, but he's also a rainmaster. When he ran his single-seater, I mean, he's a rally guy that came to single-seater. He's gone back to the rally car again. Roger's convinced him to go buy one. And he's done a 44.50.
That's a statement.
Which is actually quicker than Roger Moran just did in practice.
That's a statement. Yeah.
Right, so Einan has decided, I am here to play, boys. Practice 3. We've got our competition official just walking in, trying to figure out how to put more bulletins up in front of our viewing stand. And touch our laptop again, naughty boy. John McQuillan in that Radical SR1, the Golf livery car. He's heading around. I'm just seeing that. No, he's our next one. And then we've got Sam Nicholson in the Malik.
Anything in golf colours usually goes quicker as a result, I think.
The paint job just makes it faster.
It does make it a bit quicker, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, Right, Sam Nicholson in the Malik Mark 20. They started at Mark 1. Very, one of the most popular sports racers that have been run on the circuit. No slouch on there. You look at it going, well, how does that handle properly? It looks like it's all oddball. Trust me, these things are balanced something else, similar to the Kato.
So quick, isn't it?
Yeah, and the Nicholson's, this car is highly developed. Now this is Yan Yo driving a Legends Coupe. Now if you're into any type of motorsport, these cars started out in the 90s. It was an idea by Bruton Smith, who owned Charlotte Motors. He wanted to do a small thing, so they came up with these Legend cars. And they've gone worldwide. They do circuits, they do this, and now we got them on the hill. And this thing here, I'm going to call him Wrong Way Jan, because this morning he went the wrong way.
He did.
it wouldn't turn in the wet.
I'll tell you what it's turning now. I think he's turning that on the throttle. Certainly knows how to drive it, does he?
It does. That's a fun car to watch. That
it is indeed. I don't know whether you've ever seen the race series where they
I have
support series.
Yeah.
It is absolute chaos.
Yeah,
fantastic.
You got to see him on a short oval.
Oh.
So Jan's done a 48.74. This is Alan McDonald from Scotland, regular competitor in the British Hillclimb Championship in the Sport Libre class, driving a Force SR4. So it's Force race cars, except this is the Sport Racer version. So it's actually, what's a two-seater? It's designed as a two-seater. Yes, he's sitting in the middle. Then we've got
David Bickley on the line. Alan McDonald crosses the line with a 44.82. David's just being held on the line, so we've got a marshal running up the track just to see maybe
pick up something
to come off.
Now this is interesting. Alan, I saw him lunchtime, and I said, how are things going? Fine, except for the Malik. I'm like, what do you mean? And I'm just looking at it. The Malik's a tenth of a second quicker than he is.
That's a problem, isn't it?
That's a problem.
That's a problem.
If he keeps doing that, Alan will get seriously annoyed.
Yes.
And have you ever seen a frustrated Scotsman?
Yeah, I checked from a distance. Yes, from a distance.
You don't want to get close up.
No.
Right. So, David Bickley. This is father to Stuart Bickley. Yes. And in the Radical SR1. Great car. You can go to Radical, buy a car off the shelf. Generally track J cars were designed for. But they ended up being very handy little hill climb cars.
Absolutely, yeah. Not the kind of car that you would imagine. I mean, I once was very fortunate to have a passenger ride in a Radical, and I must say, if you have a go in a Radical, make sure if you do have a go in a Radical, have a go in it last, because if somebody offers you the chance to passenger ride in a Radical and then you go in anything else after that, it does feel a bit tame. So Radicals are the real deal. Yeah. Not as you said. I mean, not the kind of car that you see regularly on hill climbing and hill climbing scenes, but with a bit of shorter gearing, actually makes a lot of sense. Normally they're quite long geared because obviously they've got these bike engines. You can rev them out. So somewhere on the track they've got long gears, but with a shorter ratio gearbox in them, they do go quite well.
This is Stephen King. He's in a Radical Pro Sport, and if you look at it, it's a narrower car, smaller car. It's one of the older cars, as opposed to what's on the line now, which is essentially an SR3, which is kind of like a mini Le Mans car if you really get down to it.
Absolutely.
What that thing is, and it just launches off the line, kicks out all the debris from underneath.
Matthew Price knows how to drive this car as well. He's always throwing this car around. He's not afraid of it. Just you watch the commitment now as he enters into part. He's going to chuck it in now. Right down the gears at the last minute. You can see him leaning his head in. You can see the wheel turn out with a little bit of understeer. Bounces late on the brakes. Is he going to kick it over into oversteer to get round? Yeah, a little bit of oversteer on exit. Just gets a little bit close to the barriers. What's he going to do through S? He's now threads it through S, and he's now to a semicircle. He's late on the brakes. He's gone purple. Let's see what he does across the line, Owen.
Drifts it around the corner, 43.72. That's the quickest Stephen King had only done a 50.26. Now, Damian Bradley. I told you he's going to show up. Legacy's a bit poorly. Steve, can I borrow your car? Okay. Steve used to borrow Damian's car, so that's the way it goes. So now we're looking for a 44 here. There's nothing else to it. This is only third practice, but these guys like to get into it. So Damien, this is only his second run up the hill because he ran his own car the first practice. And he's looking for 44. Now, let me just see here. Where is he on splits? Ooh, he's right in the mix. He's actually quicker on the splits. Could be a 44.02. So half a second quicker. So
the car can do it then.
But we have the guy that can drive everything fast.
Scotty boy.
Scott Moran. Dad, can I borrow the car? Do I have a choice? No, I'm off. So here we go.
This is very interesting then. Let's see what Scott can do in retaliation to Damien Bradley then. If Damien Bradley can do a 44 in the dry, that is good enough, unless Simon Bainbridge has something to say about it, to win the tin top. So let's have a look and see what Scott Moran can do in response to that.
Yeah.
Can he do a 43? He's going to need to do something with a 43, isn't he, really?
He's up on the time on the splits. Ben Fisher, and just to let you know, that caterer Westfield did a 50.86, so good time for him. We got Duncan Barnes in the Norma M20 FC. That's a Honda powered thing. Right there, 43.92. Scott Moran.
10th of a second in it.
Scott has indicators of intention for the weekend.
There's a 10th of a second in it.
Dad is chasing the championship. He's not. So what's going to happen there? Duncan Barnes, this is, you don't see many of these here. Matter of fact, you don't see any of this Norma. It's actually a European hill climb car. It's got a 2-liter Honda engine in the back of it, the old K-Series. And turbocharged, so it's putting out stupid amounts of power.
500 brake horsepower, I think.
Something ridiculous.
Something ridiculous.
Yeah. And then we've got the Chronos, the SBR Chrono of Simon Bainbridge. Now, he's a top 3 car in the tin tops all the time this year, but he's got a whole bunch of interlopers this weekend, and they're all in those bloody rally cars, excuse my language.
I don't think the SBR is probably the right car for Prescott. I think it might be a bit more.
Yeah, it's a horsepower open track car. It's actually a sprint car.
Yeah.
It's actually designed for doing, laps of the racetrack.
I've seen that go around Mallory, and it doesn't hang around. It does not hang around.
Sub 60 seconds easy at Mallory.
Yeah.
So where are we at here? Simon Bainbridge, 45.25. Won't be happy with that. But then we've got Graham Lopes in the Lola T492, and that is an air-cooled Porsche engine in the back of that thing.
It's a stunning car, often seen on the HillClimb Championship. It's a beautiful, beautiful car with those martini stripes up the front. Again, a little bit like the Chevron B19 of Amanda George, which is a kind of very Targa Florio-esque. But Graham's about to round semicircle. No dramas, beautifully controlled, and he's going to cross the line in a time of 47.38. Nigel Hinton on the road now. This NGTD Roadster. Forgive me, I don't know an awful lot about it. It's an interesting looking thing as Nigel makes his way round Torres.
In that NGTD Roadster, something different. The great thing about hill climbing, you get just about everything. Oldest thing, tomorrow we're going to have a T35 Bugatti. Is it a T35? Is he bringing the 35 or the 51, Edmund? He's in the 51 tomorrow, and he actually holds the class record for the 51. So Edmund will be here tomorrow with the Bugatti to do some runs for your pleasure.
Very cool.
Nigel Hinton, did a 52.29. Graham Lopes in that Porsche powered Lola, 47.38. So not a bad time. And then we've got Mike West in the Radical SR1. Double-driven car. You're not hallucinating. You may see the same car twice with 2 different drivers in it. That's because they are sharing the car. And then we're going to have Robin Nicholson. Remember, we talked about the Malik that's annoying Alan McDonald in his Force by a 10th of a second. Well, Robin is now in the Malik. So
let's see how he goes.
Let's see how he goes.
Let's have a look at what was the time it needed to beat. Just to really rub salt in some wounds.
Yeah, I'm just going to have to
But he's just into parking now. He's early on. That's beautiful through there. That is such a reliable car, that Malik. It's just always quick, always well dialed in. It's like it's on rails. What can Robin Nicholson do?
Right,
Robin's about neck and neck, I think.
I'm just having a look here. So Matthew Price is actually leading this class at a 43.72. We didn't catch that.
We didn't we? Well, he's
Alan
second
the 44.70. Let's see what Robin Nicholson's done a 45.40, slides him into 4th.
Gotcha. Okie dokie. Ben Hamer on the line at the minute in the OMS Hornet. On the course at the minute on the OMS Hornet. We've got Jonathan Flesher on the line in the OMS 28.
I was going to say, if he's on the line, we've got a problem.
We've got a problem there. Ben Hamer's just through the S's. And we shall await a time for him. Jonathan Flesher just held at the minutes. Car was with Dylan, Dylan the son, who's emigrated to Australia. So Dad is now retaking over his car and having an enjoyable season in it. Ben Hamer sets a 46.43. Jonathan Flesher down to Tories. Really quick round there. This is a beautifully prepared car, and he's going to bang it down the gears now, hard on the brakes, left into Pardon, carries loads of speed through there, close to the barriers on the exit of Pardon, and now he's going to take it through the S's. We go right, we go left, we just take a little clip of curb there, and it goes left, tight to the barriers again. Little wiggle on the exit of the S's. We're going to go round semicircle to record a time of what, Owen, do we think?
Oh, Jonathan Flesher, 40.43.
I'm doing it.
Yeah, if anybody can hear me, 40.43. Ben Hamer, 46.43. And Robin Nixon, we are talking about 45.40. So Steve Morgan in the Empire Evo 3. So shares this with son Tom Morgan. And I think we've got several father-son teams here where the son is just, well, basically beating up the dads here. Or mums in this case. We do have a
Unless you're Roger Moran.
Yeah, Roger needs to... No.
Oh, Roger went quicker this morning. I think Scott's gone a bit quicker this afternoon.
Scott's, well, we got to go quickest so far today.
Okay, we'll go with that.
Quickest so far today.
We'll go with that.
We're going to have to give the son over the phone.
Well, I must admit, there's not many people that can go quicker than Tom Weaver in an Empire Evo. Tom Weaver's absolutely rapid in that car.
Yeah.
But,
Dad Richard's been out of the seat due to a foot injury for months on end, and he's crawled back into the car. I know he's uncomfortable with that foot. It's giving him grief, so he's going to run and see what happens. He might switch to a road car for tomorrow. He might not. Richard's a tough old guy, so he won't let it down. A 45.03. And where are we at here? So that Richard, 45.03. So he's quicker. The circuit definitely dry. Jonathan Flesher, at the moment, this is the 600 to 1100 cc class racing cars. Our fastest time is a 40.43. So that's the target. That's where everybody needs to be.
And now we've got Jonathan Geffen on. It just takes a handful of grass on the inside line there. Whether that's the right thing to do or not with your wet tyres, who knows? It seems to have just upset him on the entrance to Pardon. Just had to get out of it slightly. Maybe car bogged down. Had to go down a couple of gears. But frantic car, this OMS 2000. A little squeeze of power oversteer there through the S's.
Steve Morgan did a 42.79. Richard Weaver's done a 45.03. We've covered that. Jonathan Geffen has just gone across the line. He's doing a 43.86. 43.86. That kind of slides him into third at the moment. But we've got some big hitters coming up in this class. There's a lot in this class.
We do. Beautiful looking car here. Emma Rayson's Empire. Love the colour scheme of this. It's kind of Renault Formula One-esque.
From what period, Mr. French car person?
2017.
2017. Ew.
2017.
Was that a vintage year? Was that a good year? Or was that just they didn't know what they were doing year?
I think that was the year they decided to have a crack with Jolyon Palmer and who was the other driver? Jolyon Palmer.
Now, that's the third time I've seen a car go off the line and just kind of roll ahead or just sort of die. There's a bit of a weird thing going on today. I've seen the occasional one, but not three.
Yeah.
Just sort of launch forward a little bit, and it's like kind of weird. Anyway, here we go, Emma.
She blips, she drops the clutch. Rear wheel spin as she gets up to speed, 2.33 to the first 64 feet. She's slightly lifted through the first corner there. She's going to head into a Torres. And what's she going to do round Torres? Takes a nice wide berth from the inside so it stays away from that wet grass. The car's sparking as the air is pushing that car down into the ground. Through Pardon, okay. Getting back on the power, up into that engine, through the S's. Is it still wet under there? Let's have a look. Does she get a little wiggle through the S's? No, not a hint of it. Nice and neutral. She feeds her car through the exit of the S's. She's going to end up at semicircle. She's going to cross the line in a time of 43.66, very respectable.
43.36. That's three step. I will get it. That skips her right up into third. I've got the screen now where I can actually see first practice, second practice, and third practice. Obviously, first and second were in weird conditions. But yeah, that slides Emma into third at the moment, just ahead of Jonathan Gethring. But we got lots more in this class. James Moore, Empire 00.
Little up there into semicircle. He gets in a little bit hot. May have cost him some time, but he does pull a 42.48 out of the back.
Yeah, jumps him up to second, and the second fastest in this session, the practice so far. Dave Tatum, always a smile on his face. 10-time world longboard champion, downhill longboard.
Well, he's not scared. He's certainly not scared, that's for sure, because I think he was flat through the first corner there, Tortoise.
Yeah, lifting is something he doesn't do.
No, it's do the lifting.
But Pete, this is Dave, sorry. Brother Pete is running in a different class.
Yes.
Very quick in his car. Has been fighting fuel pumps. They keep failing on the car, but we think it's the vibration in the car that's causing the problem. But anyway, Dave's not hanging about here. He is looking for 40.04. That jumped into the top of the pile, folks. Everyone else just took one step backwards.
Richard Walk on the hill at the moment in the OMS. He's going to be hard on the brakes now into Pardon, turns it left, gives the barrier a bit of a wide berth. Nice from Richard. Just seems to be slightly circumspect through the S's. Whether he's got harboring a problem or not, I'm not sure, but it seems to be.
Let's have a look here. Yeah, he's about 3 seconds down
seems
at
a
the
bit
split.
sedate. Perhaps he's got an issue.
Sounded like a little bit of a misfire.
Battery stuck in
Still going 45.22. 45.22, but yeah, not sure what's going on there. That didn't look right.
Yeah.
Nigel Pitt races. If there's a hill climb on, he's in it. He's in it. This gentleman is addicted. Yeah, luckily his poor suffering wife likes it too, so she comes along.
Absolutely, shoestring racing is Nigel Pitt. They count themselves as he flicks the car around Pardon. Nigel is always leaning on this car, getting the most out of it. He turns left into the S's right, and then we're going to go left again, thread it through. Perhaps I think a lot of these drivers are just kind of feeling the conditions, so that the next time they go up, which will probably be tomorrow, they'll be able to take a bit more confidence, but could be wet tomorrow again, so it's an interesting one.
42.03 for Nigel, slides him into third in the runners and riders today. They got Richard Matassian in the GWR Raptor 2. He's, what's he got in this? Yeah, 1100cc. BMW, this is BMW engine.
Yes.
Yeah, BMW motorcycle engine, this one. Something different from the normal Japanese style of things. So already exiting the S's, heading up towards semicircle. So our fastest runner in this class is with a 4.0, basically a 4.0 flat, Dave Tatum. Richard has just gone with a 41.08, slides him up into third place at the moment.
Indeed. Rob Clark just left the line an absolute furiously off the limiter. I don't think he was too fussed about modulating the throttle there. He just buried it, gave it the beams, and off he went. I think he's going to be fairly aggressive on this run. He's just taken a nice turn through a Tories. He's hard on the brakes into Pardon. Car turns in beautifully, has a couple of bites of the cherry to get out of Pardon. No issues there. They haven't lost any time. He's going to be quick through the S's. We flick it left. We're just going to take a little bit of curb, thread it through the exit of the S's, and we're going to head towards semicircle. Stuart Bickley heads off the line as well. He had a little moment early, didn't he? I think he put it in the gravel.
Yeah, he wanted to check the gravel trap out of Tories was actually acceptable. Rob Clark, only a 43.56. I thought you'd see a bit more. Maybe that hesitation of Pardon, he lost momentum.
Quite possibly.
Anyway, Stuart Bickley in the blink, and you definitely can't miss me colored car.
Yep.
In the Force TA, regular competitor. We get quicker and quicker this thing as they develop the car. And anyway, Stewart's already around. This is going to be a quickie. How are we doing there? 40.44.
Getting quicker.
Ties it into third, but he's only 1/100 behind second.
We are getting quicker. Gavin McLaren in what seems to be a different car from his usual car, if I'm not mistaken. Is this the usual car, Gavin McLaren?
OMS 2000M.
Perhaps he's changed the livery or something. I just had a red flag. Well, not a red flag, but a flag in my head to say that's different. That's different. but no, Gavin's away. He's through the S's, heading to the semicircle. Will Kerr now in the little OMS Hornet, heading towards Pardon.
Yeah, Gavin's done a 45.06 for that run, so that was 10 seconds quicker than his last run. Will Kerr in the little OMS Hornet. This is the 600cc one, isn't it? 750 turbocharged for OMS Hornet, and Will so he's got a lighter, smaller engine, lighter weight, but he's got that turbo thing going with a 45.18, and that was 11 seconds quicker than his previous time. So the track is definitely coming around. Tim Thompson in the OMS 28. He was actually one of the quickest ones in the wet. So
yeah, he was. He was going really, really well. He's got that OMS 28 beautifully dialed in, shared with Jonathan Flesher. Jonathan, as I say, doesn't share with Dylan anymore because he's moved to Australia. So Tim Thompson crosses the line in a 43.09. Tom Morgan, one of our Evo 3 regulars, really, really quick in this car. And it's the Battle of the Toms coming up now because Tom Morgan's on the hill now. We've got Tom Weaver on the line. Now, if you want to see how an Empire Evo is driven to its absolute maximum, just you watch Tom Weaver now on this next run. Tom Morgan flicks it through the S's, and he's going to cross the line shortly as he heads towards semicircle, Owen.
Yeah, Tom Morgan in the dry. Tom Weaver did a 37.2 at the last event. Tom Morgan's done a 41.34. That moves him up to about 5th quickest of the day. But watch Tom here. His target this weekend, he originally wanted a 36. He says it's in the car and it's in him, just getting it together. The conditions aren't right there, but so he'll be looking for a sub-40 time to put him in position in the play.
I would completely agree with you. Now look at the commitment that Tom shows now. Well, he's already gone through this.
Yeah, he's so committed. He got there before you.
Blinking, you literally do miss him, Owen. You were quite right. Yeah, but I think he's keeping it fairly together on this run, is Tom. But in fact, he's probably backed off a little bit. That's not the time I was expecting.
No, I was expecting a 4.0. He's only got a 42.44. So I'm not sure what's going on there. Kirsten Dodd in the Van Diemen RF 86. This is shares with his Caroline Ryder. She's now on the hill. We'll move up to this Formula Ford racing cars up to 1600cc, made before 1994.
And I'm going to just pass over now to our wonderful host, Chris Ponsford. I will pass you over.
Wonderful host?
Well, what a kind chap he is. Thank you, Lloyd.
Well, he must be sucking up or something.
He's a good
Probably
lad.
wants an ice cream.
He's a good lad. Well, we've seen some...
Right, one customer for the ice cream van on his way. Rebecca Crocombe in the Van Diemen RF 84. She's on her way up the hill. Had a bit of a oof earlier in the year with the car. Shares the car with Lawrence Marks. And, so she's back out there giving her some. Kirsten Dodd did a 50.17, and as the track is dried out, that's the quickest so far in the Formula Ford. But we got a whole bunch of them coming up, so let's see what Rebecca does. Paul Harris in the Van Diemen RF 85. So Rebecca's done a 54.13, so that's 5 seconds faster, sitting about 4th quickest in class right now. Paul Harrison is older, 1985 RF 85, that's when they made it. Raced for a bunch of years after that. And then Sarah Bosworth, very, very experienced driver, pretty much quick in anything she drives, Chris.
She's impressive, actually. Sarah Bosworth, she's a class record holder in her Lotus Lees. But when she drives this, she's right on the pace. She's also got a real passion for big motorbikes as well.
Oh, really? Okay, yeah. I've known Sarah, raced against her, lost against her a few times in the past.
Yeah.
Long time ago. Started off with a road-going Elise, then it's a Mod Quad, which she still has, but jumped into the Formula Ford. Loves her racing.
Okay, so we got Les Buck on the hill in his lovely little Pringgit Mistral. Les has been racing for many years. He's also got beautiful Elan as well. But this one, we very rarely see any Pringgits. A very unusual car. He's a well-retired gentleman of the parish, but he still goes very well indeed. Next, you got Paul Jones.
Just going back, Sarah Bosworth did a 50.37. And that only put her into 2nd. Kirsten Dodd's got a 50.17. And then we have Paul Harris with a 50.44. So we are basically blink. All 3 top runners are covered in this class at the moment. Les Buck has just come through with a 52.11, slides into fifth quickest at the moment by 1/100th of a second. So we got, so now we're switching around here. We've got double driver cars again into the next class, so I'll have to get back to that a minute. So up to the 1100 to 1600cc class.
Yeah, we've got Adam Greenan on the hill at the moment. Paul Jones has just gone up the hill. Adam Greenan, one of the Greenan brothers, extremely rapid, these two brothers. I can tell you now, they are 100% commitment guys. Already through the S's now. There is going to be their last weekend of the season, they were telling me. Got a baby due, one of them has, very shortly. So Adam goes through to the finish in a 41.04. Will be followed by Olivia Cooper, Liam's wife, and in the little Force TA. They travel up from Exeter. Always competitive, is it, Olivia?
Yeah, very quick. Usually quicker than Liam, actually, in some cases. Just to give you know, Andy Greenan did the 41.04, puts the fastest in the class. Paul Jones did a 43.85, so is sitting second at the moment. Alan Warburton, wait for this car, we'll see that in a second. But Olivia Cooper is just coming around the Force TA off the top there at 44.77, so quicker again than she was earlier. Alan Warburton, father of David Warburton, number 10 top 10 car last year, and has been causing havoc in the top 10 again this year.
As ever, yeah. Well, son David will be up later, but Alan is his dad. He's a very tall chap, but he still manages to get into this car. This was the original, one of the early GR59 cars, fitted with the motorbike engine, the Hayabusa, which is an absolute devil to get in and out. So they've modified it slightly to get it in and out.
Yeah, and let's see. So Alan Warburton, a 42.24, slides him into second fastest in the group after third practice. But we've still got more to go. Mark Schlanker is on the hill in the Force TA now. This is the 1100 to 1600cc class, third practice of the day. I think we're having 4 practices today.
Well, you say that. Have you had that confirmed?
No, I haven't confirmed.
I'm not convinced about that.
I just looked at the time. We might be just on 3 practices today.
We might just be on 3.
They're doing 1 tomorrow morning.
Yeah, so we've got Mark Schlanker on the hill at the moment. Mark, this is the ex-Einem Price car from last year before Einem got his R5.
Yeah.
And then we've got on the line, we've got Richard Spedding in the Raptor. Richard is a serious top 10 runoff contender and has actually set 1 runoffs before in the past in this car. So very rapid in driving.
Yeah, conditions have to be right for the smaller engine cars to get in there, but several of these guys can do it in the dry, straight up. 42.11 for Gary Hill, and that actually slides him into second quickest in this group at the moment in this class after third practice. So we'll see what Richard Spedding can do with it. On the line, we have Jason Tunnicliffe in the Empire Eagle 3 with a 1-liter turbocharged engine. Thanks, I couldn't remember if it's turbo or supercharged. But Richard Spedding is absolutely flying up the hill. Andy Greenan set a 41.04. This is probably going to beat that. Will it be a sub-40? Can we get it across the line? Yes, we can. A 39.18. That's our first 30.3.
Serious driver.
Yeah, absolutely. But we've got more to come in that class, and we've got to watch out.
We have Jason Tunnicliffe in the little Empire Evo 3, built by Bill Chaplin down at Taunton. These Empires are fantastic little contending cars. They're very rapid indeed. Nearly all of them run motorbike engines, and this is a lovely example of it. He owns a garage business. I've just remembered he's in Wells in Somerset, I think. And
not Wells in Norfolk.
Not Wells in Norfolk, no. But very good engineer as well, and a good driver.
Absolutely. He's going across the line, a 41.67. That slides him third quickest at the moment. John Stockley in his Force PC coming around the bend, heading up.
Yeah, John Stockley in the Force, actually. There's the Forces are built by Ian Dayson up in Lichfield. He's here today, actually, and did you notice, Owen, Simon Jenks had that rather lovely Force, that one, the carbon carbon grey, and that's the one with the Opel V6 engine in it.
Oh, okay.
So when it was running.
Yeah.
But that'll be up later.
Okay,
so
yeah, we'll have another look at that. Caroline Ryder is off the line, shares his car with Kirsten Dodd. Currently, Kirsten is the quickest in the Formula Ford 1600 class. We're just stepping back a bit, double-driven car. John Stockley in that fourth PC did a 44.75, and to slide him into currently 8th place in the practice times at the moment. We'll just go back to the Formula Fords here. So Caroline Ryder, longtime racer, mom of Matt Ryder, who's been setting the hills on fire in the last month. So we'll have to see what happens. Matt actually raced this car at some point, did he not?
Well, he probably did. He certainly come up through the classes. I don't know how long they've had, but one of the interesting things about it is that John Ryder was telling me that they literally just get it out of the garage, put petrol in it, and bring it up.
Preparation consists of pushing it onto the trailer. So Caroline's done a 49.19, which puts her the class ahead by the second. Lawrence Marks shares that car with Rebecca Crocombe. He's now heading out there. Looked like it was just sliding a little bit around the Torreys. We can actually hear the cars going up the hill now, though. Skidding around.
Don't you think this car? You've seen a lot of Formula Fords.
Yeah.
But this one here is an 84, so quite an early one.
Yeah.
It's interesting the configuration over the engine.
Yeah, it's sort of to try to get the air over the driver.
Right.
So it goes up the front and down the back.
Right.
Because there's no rear wing or anything, so it's trying to get whatever pushed down the back. Really early thing. 53.81 for Lawrence.
You mentioned earlier, Lloyd.
Right, you're out the door again. You called me Lloyd.
Owen, you said Rebecca. Who was the quickest in the Formula Fords earlier? Well, so is it Caroline Ryder?
Caroline Ryder is currently the quickest in the Formula Ford.
Yeah. It wasn't Kirsten Dodd, though.
We don't. She was.
Was she?
She was.
Right.
Yeah. Kirsten Dodd is now second quickest in the Formula Ford.
Right.
And but Jimmy Harris has just put them both to shame.
He is always very
Jimmy Harris
rapid.
Just went 1.8 seconds quicker.
Here's an interesting bit of kit. Andrew Colburn in this rather nice Van Diemen. This is an O2 car. It runs a very revvy 2-litre Ford engine base, Ford Z-Tech engine base, but it's extremely ex-Formula Ireland car, this one.
Yeah.
45.09 for Andrew.
Yeah, 45.09. That slides them quickest in the class at the moment, but I think some of the other competitors are going to have something to say about that. Nicola Dearden in the Gould Dallara F394. If you notice this car, no side pods. Yeah, there's no radiators in this thing.
I think they used to be on it, though, didn't they?
I've already...
Can I just say thanks to Bob the ice cream man. Lloyd's just enjoying some of his finest.
Hey, wait a minute. I haven't had my ice cream yet.
Nor me.
Right.
We got work to do.
We'll get his...
Whoa, that's noisy, isn't it?
We'll get that sorted. Yeah, that's Michael
Trevanning.
I'll get it. Anyway, Nicola Dearden in that unique, it's half Gould, half Dallara F394. No side pods, no cooling system. Circuit car, parts of it. 54.47.
Can I just talk about Nicky Cottrell?
Oh, go on then.
Yeah, Nicky Cottrell in the MP82 Pilby. Isn't that a pretty thing? Beautiful car, that one. Love that.
The flamethrower.
Well, it is, but it's just like a...
No, I call it, it's got flames on the side.
Proper little old HillClimb car, isn't it?
I don't know it's that old, the MP82. The MP88's like the mid.
I think it's fairly elderly, but we'll find out about that.
Right, so Nicky Cottrell goes across the line in 50.18, and Michael Trevanning has actually been stopped on the course. So, not quite sure as to why, unless we've got a return road issue again.
Well, I'm just thinking about who's just gone up the hill. So we've just had Nicky Cottrell.
She's just done a 5.0818.
So she's finished.
Oh yeah, it's finished. This is not a problem with the car. Is anything? I believe. I believe timing is still working, so it's going to be a return road issue again.
Oh, okay.
So someone's stuck on the return road.
All right.
Or one of the residents has coming down the return road.
You think so? Well, I don't know.
Don't know.
I wouldn't have thought on a live track that was very advisable to
Well,
you.
don't forget that it's past the finish line. There's residents.
Well, it is that. Yeah, there is that. Yeah.
But anyway, so we don't know. So for safety reasons, we just stopped. So Michael Tregunning is going to get a rerun once they get him turned around and put him back down the hill again. They'll line him up again.
Yes, I see that we've got Andy Bugatti on the line waiting to go. He's from the Channel Islands. We've got 3 Channel Islands over here.
How many Channel Islands are there?
There's quite a few, but
you
there's
got
only
Jersey,
3
Guernsey.
runners. Yeah, but how many? Herm, Sark, Jersey, Guernsey, Sark.
You've lived in this country longer than me.
Yeah,
so
but I don't go there very often. That's nearer to France than it is to England.
Yeah.
But
are they all they're all inhabited, though?
Yeah, I think so. And I have been over there fishing to Herm, which was absolutely wonderful. But anyway, if it's welcome to our live stream viewers. Are we live stream this afternoon?
We are live on YouTube.
We are live.
Yes.
Well,
I should have told you that earlier, shouldn't I?
Well, I didn't know because I haven't been on commentary this afternoon, have I?
Well, you have been for the last 20 minutes.
20 minutes, but they don't tell me these things.
We try to keep you in the dark.
You do, don't you?
Yeah, to keep you calm.
Oh, look, you see, they're reminding this. This is the first time I've actually seen this on, because I've been watching from behind you, haven't I?
Yeah.
Hi from France, Bretagne, Kamikaze Army. Oh, there you go.
Kamikaze, I think that
no,
is.
I think it's Kamikaze Army.
Greetings from Southampton. The
David,
thriving metropolis thereof, Southampton.
Whoa.
David, thank you for watching. We appreciate your...
we do. It's nice to know there's actually somebody watching.
Hang on. Lee Corbett, afternoon all, and good luck to the Gurns, Johns, the Bunman Dunn, Andy Buggs, Bogard, and Cott, and Emma Racing this weekend. I'm going to say there's a bit of code in there for that.
Well,
one.
I know exactly what that's. It's John Dunn, who drives the Mitsubishi, right? Andy Bugard, who's just sat right there. Okay, Emma Racing, who's in the Empire.
Oh, there's a group of them that come over together.
Yeah.
Tom, thank you. Hi from Munster in France. Appreciate you joining us this afternoon. Hope you can keep up with our ramblings. Chris, nice to see you. This is from Chris Wells. Nice to see a dry day there. Looking forward to some great hill climbing. It's raining here on the Isle of Wight.
It might be raining here tomorrow.
Yeah, we've got a weather report that says it's going to be partly sunny with intense thunderstorms and snow for all we know. In other words, nobody knows what the weather is going to be tomorrow. It's going to be sunny, cloudy, wet, and dry.
Mixed is the word.
Is that what that mixed
weather,
is?
I think, tomorrow, yeah.
But, Chris, hope you there.
Scott Moran, the legend, the 6 times 12.
No, that can't be him. He doesn't know how to operate. He can drive, but he can't operate a phone. Well, that's an old Formula One car, isn't it?
What's Scotty doing on here? He's driving, for goodness sake. Scotty, get back to your car.
That can't be the same one. It must be an imposter.
He thinks I'm Alan Carr. That's what he thinks I am.
Okay.
Because in my fishing post this week, I was holding a fish with big glasses on, and he said I'm Alan Carr. Alan Carr.
No, don't
yes, Alan Carr.
Scott, I'm coming to find you. I'm coming to find you.
We had a laugh. Anyway, looks like we're nearly away.
Yeah. By the way, Scott does say good luck to all the competitors this weekend. Very sportsman.
And by the way, Owen.
What?
You're standing up. I've got you standing up. I've animated you now. You see, you're in animated mood.
That's because
I'm standing up.
Yeah, and you're going to elbow me in the head if you keep doing that. Right, Andy Bogard has left the line. Thank goodness we got cars going up the hill again. Right, Andy Bogard, the Force PTO.
Yes, the Force PT. Hayabusa engine, stretched Hayabusa.
Hold on.
Oh, he's going slowly.
Well, we can actually hear Andy's engine and the car. Oh, it's picked up now. Picked up now. It sounded like it didn't want to rev going into Torres. So not quite sure what's going on here. But anyway, Andy's up through. This is way off the pace, by the way, so I'm not quite sure what's going on here. But anyway, off the line, Tim Elmer, that Dallara F399 is absolutely ripped one.
What a stunning car that is too. I think that's one of the prettiest cars. It's from Stratford, even local man. But that is stunning. Tim sort of had a bit of a break from it, I think. So I haven't seen much of him lately. But anyway, he's come back in a beautiful car, isn't he?
Yeah, absolutely gorgeous Dallara F399. Bit of an unusual car for this. You don't see many Dallaras.
More of a circuit car.
More of a circuit car, an old monoposto or an F3 car, F2 car. I don't know.
Well, I'll tell
it's
you
been
what.
converted because he's got all the HillClimb stuff on it. Nah, here we go.
We got a proper car here. This is Jonathan Varley in the Graham White X Predator. This car used to have an F1 Formula Arrows Formula 1 engine in it. I remember it. What a piece of kit. But now it's running a Terry Davis V8. What a piece of kit.
Yeah, Tim Elmer's done a 45.55 and actually squeezed him up into 4th place, just only a couple hundredths behind Andy Bogart. Jonathan Varley is right now the class leader in the 1600 to 2 liter racing cars, is on a 45.09. Jonathan Varley just did a 39.41. He's basically sent his stall out, put out his pitch, and put his feet up for the day with that run.
He's currently leading the Midland Hillclimb Championship.
And he can clinch it. It depends on a couple of things. He has to drop scores, but he's got 2 poor scores. He's got 2 4s. So Bill tells me if he put, for instance, 9, he gets a couple of 9s this weekend, so finishes 2nd, he would gain 10 points. And that would probably lock it in. But it depends on the 2nd place car. But he has a 9-point lead going in, but he's got to drop a couple.
Right, Darren Gumbley has just finished in a 41.59 extra time, and Andy Greenan's on the hill at the moment. Andy Greenan, super rapid driver, one of the Greenan brothers. Always fireworks when the Greenan brothers are on the hill. This is a little motorbike engine, 1600 Hayabusa. I think they're running on methanol. Anyway, he's approaching the S's now.
And he's still in the S's, coming through.
That's a good one.
I was like, hello, throw me that one when I wasn't paying attention. We've got a window open in here, and I'm starting to smell the fumes in the race cars.
Yes, I am too.
So Andy Greenan, I'm going to have to move around here and see, to go back to the class he was in. So Andy Greenan has just gone across with a 40.19, and that puts him 2nd behind Richard Spenning in the up to 1600cc car class. Got Darren Gumley, who, gonna make it back there. So Darren Gumley was only 3rd quickest in that run. So Richard Spenning and Adam Greenlee, and then, Darren Gumley is 4th. And Adam, the Greenans are just ahead, 2nd and 3rd. Nicky Cottrell has just gone across the line in
47.88.
47.88. Quite sticky. Sorry. I should actually turn my microphone off when I do that. Okay. Sorry, I'm still. I get families all mixed up. Chris Les mixes them up, so I have to ask a question.
Right, I'm going to just have a breather a second. Take five. So we've got Liam Cooper on the hill. Liam Cooper is married to Olivia Cooper. They come from Exeter. They've been campaigning this little force for some while. Always a very, very close battle between the two of them, as David Warburton leads the line in this marvellous little Gould GR59. It's a 1600 class car, but my goodness me, he's a rapid driver. He will undoubtedly get into the run, I would have thought, tomorrow here. And he could do good points, actually, in this little motorbike car tomorrow if it's wet.
Wet or damp, actually.
Well, wet or damp.
I think the damp would be...
already on the sectors he's up, isn't he?
Yeah, I'm just having a look here. Richard Spenning did a 39.18. That's kind of the quickest thing we've had up the hill so far this afternoon. And he's going to come across the road at 38.09. Just absolutely throws one down. So be interested to keep an eye on that. Make a note, like a 38 flat. Let's see what the big guys can do.
See what the big guns do,
See what,
I think with the drying track, so we're talking a hill record in the 35s.
34.
34.
34,
so
60.
Today, 36s and 37s. What do you think? I think that's 37.
But we don't know what these guys are doing, because we know that some of their testing things, they're playing around with ideas. They know it's going to be mixed weather tomorrow. So they're going to be looking at a few things, looking at the data. They're collecting data from the car, making sure the car actually operates.
All I'll say is these guys are racing divers. Put slicks on them, give them a Gould GR59. They are not going to be going up there slowly. So I'll say to you, there'll be at least a 36. Possibly, yeah. I think I'm going to predict a 36 in practice. How about that?
I'm 37, yes. 36. I'm going to hold judgment on that. I'm not convinced. I would not wager.
Okay, no, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. Well, Aaron Colborne on the hill in the Van Diemen. Aaron is his son, and he's a bit quicker than Dad. But they've got a local, a racing car tuning business just down the road.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, not far away, and they sort out several competitors. And young Aaron, this car, I've noticed it's going quicker and quicker. It's got a nice quick engine in it now. They've rebuilt and done it all themselves. Anyway, he's already heading up towards semicircle. He's going to be probably around about 42nd mark. 42.70.
Jumps him into second place. Jonathan Varley did 39.4. So, but the Colburns are second and third. Quickest in that class. So good run for them. Right, we got Andrew Henson, who's also in this class. Had a fail on the second practice run. That was spun on pardon, actually. Kind of just got it sideways and turned around. So here we go. Let's see what he can do. So Nicola did a 54.4 in the car. Andrew's going to do a 42.65.
Yeah, Andrew's actually pretty rapid in this car.
So that actually jumps him to third.
Yeah, it's a quick car. He can certainly drive it.
Third, second, third, second.
As I say, at the moment.
Oh no, it's tied with Andrew. Second, I'll get it.
Okay, this looks to me like Calvin Broad. Actually, he's got the black helmet on. So is this Calvin or is this Alex Coles?
No, it's Calvin.
Is it Calvin?
Yeah.
Is it? Yeah.
Now, if you're new to watching hill climbing, watch the start and everything. You look at some of these drivers now. The visor stays up until they are ready to go. The visor is almost like the visor goes down, race mode. It's like the Stig type thing. So he's gone a little bit ahead of time, but he's there. But you watch Wallace and some of them. They keep the visor open. They're all set. They do all their settings and everything, and then the visor goes down. It's like down, go. Turns into the Stig-ish type thing.
Yeah, we're getting into some quick stuff now. This is Kelvin's driving this little course. This one's another motorbike engine, but I think they've got a supercharger on this one. And of course, Alex Coles has been sensational in this car.
Watching him go up, even this morning in the damp, he was going through there like it wasn't wet at all. Yeah. And he's actually currently fastest in class by 3 seconds.
Wow.
So, but the conditions have been all over the place because Alex actually runs later than the rest of the group. He runs at the end because he shares the car. So here goes Calvin, a 40.84. That puts him quickest in the class at the moment.
That's rapid too, isn't it?
That's not rapid, but we're going to have to. There's going to be some threes on the end of numbers in this class, I think. Going to need to. And we've got James Chalmers in the Ralt F302-001, another unique car. This is shared by the Chalmers family, James and
Jamie.
John.
Yep. John's dad. Jamie's his son. And I'm just going to take this a minute. So we've got Jamie Chalmers heading up to the finish. William Lockridge has just left the line in the Works Empire race. This is the car that Zach Zammit races when he comes over. See Bill Chapman in front of us there. He's watching his progress here.
Yeah, James Chalmers did a 43.70 in that, so he's that's a bit quicker. So he's still sitting third quickest at the moment.
However, so Will actually has been really quick in the car this year as well. He's actually from Northern Ireland. He's also a joiner by trade in the woodworking trade, but he's been doing a lot of work in Dorset. He's heading up towards the line. What's he going to do? He's going to do a 41.44.
44, that puts him second quickest behind Kelvin Broad at the moment. But we've got a few interesting runners in this group, so we'll have to keep an eye out for. Next up, I think we've got the flamethrower, as I call it. The one with the flames on the side of it.
Oh yes, Sandra's Pilbeam. Not that one. That's got flames.
Has she got flames?
Yeah, Spedding's car's got flames. John Cottrell's car's got flames on the Pilbeam. So
not making my life easy, are you?
Well, you said flame cars.
Yeah, it's a blue Pilbeam with flames on the side.
Well, that's Sandra Tomlin's car.
Okay. Well, anyway, why don't we just talk about Pete Tatum?
And why not? Why not Pete?
Why not Pete? Let's see what he can do. Now,
and there's David as well. There's his brother.
There's David. Do we just stare at him evilly?
No, don't upset David. He carries sheep under each arm. He's a strong boy, he is. Farmer from Malton in Yorkshire.
Ooh, okay.
Yes.
Right.
Don't upset the
Right,
Datums.
so young Pete's on the line. I do know, if you watch, the front tires aren't 100%. He's trying something a little bit different to get around it. So we'll see what happens, but he launches off the line. Got his foot down. Oh, that's the one. In his OMS 28. Always has a niggly problem every event. It's a tradition with Pete. Every time I go over there, I say, what is it this time? But this year has been fuel pumps. This car keeps having fuel pump failures. 10 of them now. He had another one go this morning.
Oh, that's really.
He's now got the original fuel pumps back in the car. But Pete, he's always got, but that's part of the fun of it. But very quick driver, very rapid driver in his OMS 28. Heads across the line with a 4.0.59. That puts him quickest in class so far.
Okay, we've got flame cars. Yeah, John Cottrell actually, in the lovely little Pilby. I'm actually very fond of this because I like old school cars, and to me, this is an old school car. I think it runs a Millington engine in the back, 4-cylinder engine. John actually is driving this with his wife Nikki, and of course Jack Cottrell's out in his own super duper Delara later on, and he's a championship runoff contender.
Yeah. So here we go, off the line, Paul Hames, car number 9, which means he top 10 in the British Championship last year. John Cottrell does a 47.82. Now we're all over a little bit. I apologize for a bit. 47.82. Yeah, jumps in ahead of Nicky Cottrell by 6/100ths. Paul Hames is on an absolute mission with this. Let's just have a look and see where we're at here.
Well, he's in purple sectors at the moment, and this is only practice, but Paul Hames, this is a super quick car, rapid driver, and I think, did we decide he's running number 9?
38.24 for Paul. That's, what have we seen?
We've seen a 36, 37.
No, I think it's 37, I think.
37, yeah, that's
a couple of 38s and a 37.
Here's another flame car. This one is coming up to the line, but Lynn Owen's on the hill at the moment.
Lynn Owen, wife of Steve Owen, who is OMS.
Yes, Mr. OMS, Steve Owen.
Running as a business.
Yeah, indeed. So, Lynn's on the hill at the moment. I say, we have a visitor. Good afternoon. Later on, is it? Brilliant. Fantastic. So we're now back in business. Okie dokies. So we've got Sandra Tomlin on the hill in a Pilbeam MP97. This is 4-litre jump powered. Sandra's owned this car from new. Beautiful car. This is probably one of the last of the big Pilbeams built for hill climbing. And Sandra's got her son Oliver with her today, co-driving the car. And now we're getting amongst some really special stuff now. So Sandra's just finishing up now with a 47.19. And Sean Gould, the builder of these magnificent Gould cars, is on the hill. The car that Matt Ryder will be driving shortly, and also has been probably leading the British Championship.
I think is Alex still leading, but the drop scores thing kind of
I think
weird.
Technically that Matt's ahead, but it's all down to drop scores and all that stuff. And
either way, they're battling, and it's just we'll figure it out later.
Yeah.
All right, Lloyd, if you're in the area, you want to come on back? I need to step out when you're free.
Yeah, Lloyd, we're fine, but Lloyd, Owen's got to do a presentation for the students, isn't it?
So forming the students, so I'm going to go up and do that in a bit.
I'll carry on, there's no problem.
I've got some time.
Okay, so Harry Pick now just leads the line in the OMS 28. So this car you're seeing here now, Harry's driving this one. It's new back end of last year. Runs the IndyCar V8 engine in the back. So it's a seriously quick car, latest OMS spec. And Harry's a quick young driver from, I think, Leamington Spa. So anyway,
Right? Yeah, sorry, I'm just going to go through this. So Harry is kind of in mid, he's actually been in the top half of the group there. And he's just coming through now. I'm going to hand off to Lloyd because, well, I will in a minute. And let you guys carry on with the big cars.
we will see you later, or if not tomorrow.
Later on, we'll be around. Yeah, just make sure you join us tomorrow. It's going to be a great day for a motor car race. That's
okay.
a horrible accent, isn't it?
Thanks very much there to Owen. Jack Cockerell in his Pilby. It's IndyCar engine Pilby. Dallara. Jack is a very talented young driver. He's got a lot of power. He's well in the points this year in the British Hillclimb Championship. And I think he'll feature well tomorrow, Lloyd.
I think you're right, Chris. Yeah, he's a fantastic driver. It's certainly not his driving that's not reached results for him. He has had a couple of issues with the car over the years, but he's slightly on the heavier side. But Jack gets the absolute most out of that car. So
it is actually heavy because John was telling me, Dad, that they wanted the heavy car because it's an ex-circuit car.
Safer.
And safer. It's got more.
I think is it a homologated?
Yes, it's a bit of a half and half. I think. Yeah, I think so. But it was a safety issue. He thought, well, you know what? If we're going to race this car, we want something as safe as possible.
Yeah.
And so yes, it might be heavier, but the lad can drive. The lad can really drive.
He really can. Simon Andrews can drive. He's across the line at 44.37. Now, Graham Wynn, OBE or MBE? Chris?
OBE.
OBE for his
grandfather.
For services to
sort of
traffic management, is it?
I don't know. He's done a lot of things, this Graham, and his wife is Lord Lieutenant of Shropshire.
Cool.
Well, so they're pretty up their family, you know.
Well, I'll tell you now, last time I saw Graham's car in the flesh at Chelsea, he had a little off, unfortunately, but it was amazing to see him. He was out. He was out the next
week. Moment at Top S.
He did.
Big moment.
He did. And it caught him out, unfortunately. But such as the Gould boys, they got him back out the following week for Prescott. Now he's back here. Now he's just shaved 40.01, almost a 39, but 40.01. Alex Cole. Now we like Alex Cole. So
sensational Alex Cole. Yes. Well, my goodness me, this young man can drive, can't he? He's sharing this car with Kelvin Broad. It's a little Force TA. I think it's a supercharged version, but either way, slides it out of the park there. Wow, he's really on it, Lloyd.
He is. Alex is absolutely fantastic. The commitment. I don't think there's much. I mean, can you imagine Alex in a GR59 or something?
I can imagine him in a GR55 that sat in the paddock.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's something for the thought.
That's food for thought, isn't it? But yeah, 39 seconds dead. I mean, that's really quick.
Yeah. Now, interestingly, talking about that GR55, here is Terry Graves, our electrical mechanic from Cornwall, who's been doing a lot of work here at Prescott, actually installing CCTV cameras and things. I can't say that word very easily. But this one has just had the engine rebuilt on this one.
Sounds great.
Yeah, it's sounding good, isn't it?
Sounds great, this thing, doesn't it? It sounds absolutely
He's had a misfire problem, hasn't he?
He has. I think he's had some issues with the car over the last couple of years. Things like water pump starter motors, whatever has gone wrong. But hopefully now dialed in, looking good, and hopefully he'll have a good, consistent day for it. There's a slight oil mist trail behind it.
Is there?
Hopefully it's just overfilled in some way, shape or form, but worth looking at.
Well, talking about worth looking at, Lindsay Summers in the AFS P4T. This is the car built by the Summers family.
Stunning transition there, Chris,
amazing.
by the way.
Oh, stunning transition.
Beautiful transition.
Did you like that?
Worth looking at. Lindsay Summers, AFS P4T.
One try.
It's fantastic.
Yeah. Tell us about this car.
Well, this is a car that Alex Summers, you will know from the DJ Firestorm, leading our current British Championship. He built this. He wanted to build his own Formula car, didn't he, for hill climbing, and this is the result, the AFS P40.
7 years in the making.
7 years in the making. And if you follow Alex Summers on Instagram, he will give you all kinds of insights as to how he made it, adjustments that are made, how things work. Really, really worth giving Alex Summers a follow on Instagram. He's really, really inspiring.
He's such a great driver. They're a great family. They all race, don't they? Which is amazing. Yeah. So Lindsay is mum. And now this is interesting. I think, if I'm not mistaken, that is the, let me see, Is that the new Force?
Simon
Jenks.
Yeah, it is.
This one, folks, I've not seen this one before this weekend. This is Ian Dason's latest creation.
Okay.
Unlike the normal Forces he builds with motorbike engines,
Yep.
this one's running the same engine as in Alex Summers' car, the Opel V6.
Oh, same as the AFS.
Yes.
Oh, look at this. Doesn't it sound
Look
nice?
at that. That's pucker, isn't
Does
it?
it not just sound fantastic?
Yes, and running on methanol as well. And yeah, they had trouble starting it just before lunch. But Ian came out, took the airbox off the top, poured some fuel down there.
Yeah. They're highly strung up there, these racing engines, mate.
Off it went. But look at this. Yeah, this is it's all course.
So are we talking it was built and this is its first event? This is the debut of
Well,
the
I'm
new
not sure.
engine.
He's debuted at Kerbra. He's
Right.
been having a play there,
Tested
but I
it.
think this is his first. He was driving a Caterham.
Yes, he was, wasn't he? Yes. See, when the bug gets you, everyone ends up in a single seater.
They've
When the
gotta
bug
have
gets
but,
you.
but this is apart from when Will Hall had the big Force before that had a V6 Opel engine in it.
It did.
And that was good then, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
That was 46.93 for Simon.
John Chalmers off the line, popping and banging away with his launch control and anti-lag. Hell of a lot going on with this thing. Do you know, I was just a second ago when you and Owen were chatting, I was just watching a few of them go off the line. It is remarkable how quick these things leave the line. If you've never been to a hill climb in person, if you're watching this, because of camera frame rates and perspectives, you can't truly get a feel for the noise, the feeling, and the actual the sensation of speed like you can in person. Do get yourself down here. Come and buy a ticket. It's a great day out. Prescott's a beautiful place. Come and have a look at what they're like in person.
Do you know what? You're spot on, Lloyd. When they leave the line, a big Gould leaves the line, they're invariably nearly in about fourth gear by bridge.
Yeah.
That's ballistic, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean we're doing 0 to 60 in sub 2 seconds. It's so quick.
Wow. Well, on the hill at the moment, we've got Stephen Owen in his OMS 28. He's the builder of these cars. He's been building them for many years. And in Trevor Willis, Trevor's won. Oh, there's a problem there. Pardon, when he gets round. Trevor Willis has won the championship 3 times in an OMS, so pretty serious cars, aren't they?
Well, yeah, absolutely. Well, he got that run off, didn't he, Trevor? He got the run off in the OMS in the Channel Islands.
Yeah, fantastic.
Right. But Stephen's not afraid to use it, that's for sure. He's always nice and sideways, but I think we're getting to that drier part of the course now. I think we're starting to experience fairly dry conditions.
We want it dry, don't we? Because that's when we get to appreciate the real power, the skill of these drivers. On slicks, they're really giving it everything.
Well, it's interesting. I was talking to Matt Ryder earlier, and he was saying we don't mind it. We don't mind it wet. We don't mind it dry, just as long as it's consistent.
Yes.
Be wet or be dry.
Yes, you don't want it where they get a runoff and some get wet and some get dry.
This morning, for example, when it's greasy, what's the right tyre? Do you go wet on the front, sticks on the back? That's not what you want. You want wet or dry, level playing field. That's kind of the idea.
But Oliver finishes it. Oliver Tomlin in the Pilbeam finishes in a 42.22. We're now with David Wren on the line. This is the ex-Martin Groves car that held hill records, won British Championships for Martin. Beautiful car. It used to be yellow, didn't it? Yeah. But now David's driving it, and of course Nicola Mingers, Wallace's wife, is not with us this weekend. She's up in Scotland, but she normally co-drives. What do you think of this one?
She does. Well, it's a decorated car, this thing, as you say. David's on purple, actually, so David's obviously hiding something up his sleeve. Let's see what he's going to pull out the bag for a practice day, anyway. But I don't think that there's many people, as I say, in the world that can get much more out of a GR55 than David. He really does wring the neck out of this thing, doesn't he?
Yeah, you're so right. Look, 39.28.
Always quick, David.
But actually, I'm just thinking back what the quickest we've had this afternoon. I thought there was a 37.
Alex Cole's at a 39 dead.
39,
Sean did a 38.94.
Right.
Paul Haynes did a 38.24. So I think Paul Haynes. David Warburton's done 38.09. So.
Here comes Trevor Willis. He's already well up the hill now in the OMS 28. Trevor's a fantastic driver. He looks to be really trying hard. He is in purple sectors. He's putting down a little marker for tomorrow. And I tell you what, folks, if it's wet tomorrow, Trevor's worth a punt, isn't he?
FTD. Just pumped in FTD.
Oh, 37.92.
So he's just pumped in fastest time. It was David Warburton. Who I think's in the hunt for some points.
Here's your favourite,
William Hall. Will Hall has got probably the nicest of the big boy cars, I think, here. I think that Williams-esque livery looks absolutely fantastic. He's been so consistent this year. He's always been right with them. And yeah, I think Will for me, he's just got the car so dialed in. He's purple as well. So what's he going to do? What's he going to do? Is he round semicircle?
37.
What's he going to do? Is it going to be a 37? It's got to be a 37.
Yes! 37.41. That's the fastest we've seen today. But Alex Summers is on the hill in the DJ Firestorm. Alex, what a talent he is. This car is the only Firestorm in the field as well, isn't it?
It is indeed.
And Andy Smith has got this car dialed in. Alex is brilliant this year, already in the S's.
He's gone up now, so he was behind on the splits up until the S's. He's now further up on the splits. What's he going to do? I think he's going to be into the 36s, you know. I think he's going to be in the 36s.
I said to Owen, I said there'll be 36s in practice. I reserve judgment.
There you go.
But there you go. But nevertheless, who have we got coming to the line? We have Matt Ryder. My goodness me, this young man has been sensational this year. He's had a couple of he's had some problems to deal with this year, hasn't he? The car's been rebuilt by Sean, obviously, and he's been setting hill records.
Bounce back ability.
Did he do one at just outside the record?
He was 2/10 off at Shelsley. The record at Shelsley is a 22.37 held by Sean Gould in that car.
Yeah.
And I think Matt Ryder did a 22.39.
And he did a hill record here last time.
He did a hill record here last time. So let's watch and see what he does. This is only practice, but when people start pumping in the times, that's what we want. It's hard if you're a racing driver, you know. It's a marker.
I said to Owen earlier, I said these boys are racing drivers. Got a set of slicks, big powerful engine. He'll be trying to get fun. Look, he's already up on the purple sectors.
He's 6/10 up on the
36s, 35s.
6,000 up, I should say.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
Slightly further down, he might just miss out. Just misses. It's practice.
I know. But a 37 at 01, so it's only now. Listen, folks. Have a look at this. This is Wallace Menzies, 4 times British Hillclimb champion. This car is all singing, all dancing Gould. Look at the fluorescent wheels on this car. The Ferrari red paint scheme leads the line. Over to you, Lloyd.
Wallace is ending the season on a high. I think he's really come back from a challenging year. He had a nasty accident earlier in the year, and he's been recovering ever since. So I think it's great to see Wallace back on the horse properly, back to the proper performance that we've seen. I think Wallace could be in with a chance tomorrow, you know.
Well, yes, I think he's undoubtedly a terrific talent, and I tell you what, if he's wet, he's brilliant in the wet, you know.
Well, he's up on the splits, he's gone.
Oh my goodness me! Look, goodness me! The Flying Scotsman is flying.
Wallace is the man. He's the man. He's not scared, that's for sure. Let's see as he rounds the final corner. Breaks 36, so fastest time of the day.
Isn't this exciting in practice? Tomorrow, when the adrenaline's really running, what are we going to be seeing then?
Well, exactly. If we've got Wallace firing on all cylinders with his car, it'd be interesting as well to see if we do get some rain tomorrow. What could happen? I think we'll almost certainly have a wet runoff tomorrow morning. First set of runoffs.
Sounds that way.
I think we'll almost certainly. But no, it's going to be. I'm really looking forward to tomorrow. I've got a stinking fishing. I would put £5 English, I think, on a Wallace Menzies runoff win.
Well,
I don't know which one. I couldn't tell you which one.
That's pretty much out there.
But I think of £5. I would put on Wallace Menzies.
Well, he is a brilliant driver. I'm loving the fact that he's back in form. The car, I mean, it's always been a great car. He's had a couple of big bangs to deal with this year, and they've moved heaven and earth to get that car back out. I mean, after Shelsley, they turned that car around when really I thought it could have been end of season. You know, it was that much damage.
Was it Shelsley or was it Lowton?
No, so Shelsley, he went into the rector.
Sorry, beg your pardon. Yes, he did. Yes,
and then at Cragantlet, he went across towards the finish line at 100 mile an hour backwards.
Yeah, it's not advised. Not advised.
That wasn't good.
Not advised.
That wasn't good. So, fortunately,
I remember seeing him at Shelsley. He was in a lot of pain.
Oh, without a doubt. And you know, like these guys, they're such brave guys that they shrug it off, don't they? They just get in the car. Look at Matt Ryder this year. He's had a couple of big incidents, and my goodness me, he just gets in, focuses, boom, he's gone. He's gone.
He was having a good go. Well, you know, when you find where the limit is, that's how you can go the quickest, isn't it? You've got to find the limit, and sometimes you've got to go through it.
Tell me this. I spoke to Scotty Moran about this. The G-force is sitting in a Gould GR59. Put your foot on the loud pedal. Oh my goodness! How that must be like sitting in a ballistic missile.
I was sat with Scott and Father Roger for lunch. I managed to bump into him and have a catch up with them. And I spoke to Scott. And I said, Quick question for you, Scott. Once you've experienced a GR59 and really got a taste for it, is everything else just a bit tame? And he kind of, well, a little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
He was just kind of, a little bit, because once you've had the taste of that power, it's kind of, everything else is
we
a bit
are
tame.
talking serious ballistic missiles. A car weighing about 400 odd kilos with about 700 horsepower, a sequential box, all the traction control.
Very serious.
I mean, that's mind-blowing.
Well, he was regaling a story when he did a sort of a client's day at Shelsley and a couple of track days in a GT3 Porsche, and he said it just did not feel it sort of quite how it should have. You know, I don't think the juices were flowing in quite the same way. And it's a GT3 Porsche, most people's dream cars, but just goes to show the power of a GR59 Gould, and a top-flight hill climb car.
Yeah, and actually. Talking about the sort of the older cars, you were with us at Shelsley, and when the original Gould was brought out, the ex-Chris Kramer Gould.
Really?
Were you not there?
I wasn't there at that point.
Were you Classic Nostalgia?
Earlier in the year. Beg your pardon.
The red Gould.
Yes, I was. And they parked it
with the Hart engine.
Yes.
And that was an all aluminium tub. It had H-box gears. None of this fancy modern stuff. And it was their first. It would have been their first championship-winning car because it was brought out in '83, but I think in '85 it won the championship with Chris Kramer. And because David originally drove it with a 1600, and then they fitted a 2.5 litre Hart engine into it, and it won. But it was such a beautiful thing.
Pretty car, isn't it?
Oh,
it's a
very
really pretty car.
A bit like a Williams of the era, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And apparently Patrick Head was involved in the design of it.
Yes.
So because they were big mates, I think, because...
We should probably mention we've got 15,328 subscribers on HillClimb UK. We would love to see 16,000. So if you can, please do hit
like and
subscribe, comment. It all helps with the great effort that Rich and Elle do to provide you these images. They are absolutely fantastic. We would absolutely love to hit 16,000 subscribers. So
we would, because actually we crashed through the 15,000 last time we were here.
Yes.
We had a great day on the subscribers over the weekend.
Yep.
So now, yes, we're going to go for 16,000. Like and subscribe to HillClimb.TV. What a great channel. Rich Danby and Ellie Taylor doing a fantastic job bringing this coverage. I mean, they've transformed our job, haven't they?
They have. Yeah, they've made it easier for sure, but they've also made it so much more accessible to people.
Yeah.
How many people didn't know about British Hillclimb before these guys got involved?
They're coming in thick and fast now. Keep subscribing.
One more. That's it.
Keep going. 329, 20,329. Now listen, I know you like these little Fiat A-bars. Tell us about them.
Fairly new to them, to be honest. I always looked at them from a distance. I've always been a French boy. You know that. I like my French cars. But I always thought the Abarth winked at me slightly with the Italian cheekiness. And actually, I bought a standard Fiat 500 as a bit of a little buyer and seller, and then I quite enjoyed it. I thought it was quite good, and so then I bought an Abarth and really enjoyed it. I thought it wasn't the quickest thing in the world, but I had a basic 135 brake horsepower one. David has a 595, which is about 160-70 brakes, so I'd be interested to have a go in that.
Yeah, he's David's. He had the clear, as you know, and which was great. But I look at these cars, and they don't look like they should handle, but they seem to really handle.
They do. You do kind of sit on them a little bit. You sit quite high in them, but they do. They are very Italian. You just got to kind of thrash the lights out.
Now this is Italian, an Alfa Romeo of Will Goff. Now you were telling me this is a stretched Fiat Abarth engine.
Exactly, yeah. So they took the Abarth engine, the 1.4 turbo, and they stretched it to 1.7, a bit more power, DCT gearbox, and stuck it in the middle of the 4C. And it kind of suits it. I've never driven one. I would love to have a go in one because I think people have received mixed reviews. There's no power steering, it's carbon turb. Some people don't like them, some people do like them. So I think
it's a beautiful car.
It's a beautiful car. It's an Alfa Romeo.
Rodney Isles has got one. Rodney Isles has got, and his is even more breathed on.
Does he still have that then? Because he's in a GR Yaris this weekend.
No, Roger's still got it.
He's just having a crack in the jam.
I think so. I've not heard he sold it.
No,
it's a very competitive car.
Extremely quick car.
And Rodney, of course, is ex-single-seater driver, so he's he knows his way about. You know,
he sure does.
Like a lot of these drivers, sometimes they've been in single-seaters and then they they sort of retired the single seater, and they want to have a play.
Yeah.
So what's this little thing? This funny little
It's
Fiat?
very, very cheeky. It's a very, very cheeky. It's Fiat Abarth 850 TC Nürburgring. That's probably the worst Italian accent you'll hear all day.
But never mind.
But you referred to that. I thought, is it a boot or is it a bonnet? But it's a spoiler.
It's the rear engine cover,
Yes.
but they tip it up. But listen, have a look at Matt Clark.
Yeah.
Matt Clark in this
Look
Austin
at the
Mini.
commitment.
Three wheels round
Come
there.
on, Matt Clark.
Oh, he's seriously quick, this young man. Squeals the tyres. Look at that.
It's like he's got a load of gold bullion in the boot.
I tell you what, he is the Italian job, isn't he?
Look at the speed. Look at the lateness on the brakes into park.
He was driving in the Italian job, wasn't he, this
I
fella?
think he must have been in
He's
the
going
Italian
through all
job.
those tunnels and everything.
Yeah, absolutely. He is. I'll tell you what, the Italian police would not have called Matt.
They won't catch Matt Clark. No
He's
chance.
absolutely rapid. Look at the way he's driving.
I know.
Commitment is fantastic. It's a great little class, this fancy class, isn't it?
I tell you what, they're a great bunch of guys. Look at him going around semicircle there.
Come on,
Come on, go under 50 seconds. 51.8.
That's very quick.
Now look, here comes Martin Saunders in the Pinto engine Ford Escort Mark 1.
Beautifully prepared. We were looking around it earlier. Absolutely, you can tell this is Marty's pride and joy.
Beautiful.
Absolutely stunningly prepared. Unfortunately, we're not going to see this tomorrow. This is a Saturday only class.
Is it?
I believe it is. It's not.
Oh
fancy
my
class. I believe
goodness!
they're not back
Is
tomorrow.
that right? Oh
Could
wow!
be. I could be stood, but I thought I heard they were
I
back
thought
tomorrow.
they said they were in both days, but
Well, I hope they are.
Oh, I hope
hope
so.
I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong.
well, I know that Simon Braithwaite has just left the line. Simon, of course, is in his 4S.
I've had it confirmed. I am indeed wrong. I was wrong once before.
You're wrong.
Again.
Are you wrong?
Fassi are here tomorrow.
Are you
Fassi
wrong?
Tomorrow.
I thought
Great.
so.
Yes.
See, even old boys like me know stuff like that.
My favourite car of the
Oh, we better let you talk about that one, haven't
Braithwaite
we?
in this absolutely fantastic BDG engined Ford Mark 1 Escort.
Yes.
This is just stunning, isn't it? And he drives it beautifully, but that noise, that classic BDG noise, Chris.
30 grand's worth of engine in this car.
It
you know?
is indeed,
I
yeah.
mean, don't forget, this was built from a Mark 1 Ford Pop. Escort Popular.
Yes.
Right, into a fantastic replica car. Now, this has surprised me today how quick this is.
Oh, Mark's just been driving on his door handle, driving the absolute wheels off it. He's got look at the front camber on it as well. He's obviously very used to being quite pointy on the front, so he's chucking it in. That's fantastic.
Isn't that great?
He's having a great go. Out of pardon. He's heading through the S's now. He's going to. He was very flamboyant this morning in the greasy conditions, but now it's dried up slightly. I think he's trying to go a bit quicker, so he's trying to keep it a bit more together. But a bit of body roll, which is obviously the way he likes it set up, slightly softer. The car moves around a little bit more. He's going to get hard on the brakes. You see the front end dive as he just hits the apex into semicircle. The front wheel just lifting there as he goes through the gears, holds onto the gear. 53.85 for Mark, mate.
I actually love those little imps. I think they're fabulous little things.
So do I.
Yeah, great. Alistair Clark on the hill in the Triumph Vitesse Mark II. Well, if you're familiar with these, this one actually has got the 6-cylinder 2-litre Triumph engine in that they fitted into the early GT6s. They had a real weird suspension system on these Vitesses. They used to sort of tuck the back wheels underneath. They were right weird things. But he built this out of two cars. He spent a lot of time doing it, and actually
It's the kind of car I can imagine bank robbers enjoying in the 60s.
Yeah, well listen, he won the Fassi in it last year.
Did he?
Yeah, because it's a handicap system.
Of course.
Yeah. Oh, we're talking about handicaps. Look at this one. Peter Baker.
Yeah, absolutely.
What do you know about that one, Lloyd?
Not much.
Not much.
I'll be honest
on
with you. Well, I know it's got its mascot.
Yes.
The little bear that's been cable tied.
Well,
to
Peter Baker, I'll just fill you in, is the husband of Lynn Baker,
Yes.
who's in the office here, who's always running around
Shout out to
everywhere.
Lynn.
But this one, they go on the historic Monte Carlo Rally in this.
What a nice thing to do.
What a lovely thing
What a
to
nice
do.
thing to do.
Yes, indeed. Well, he's on his way up towards the S's and has already left the line. Oliver Slater in the Ginetta G15. As you know, that's one of my little absolute favourites
Like
here
this one,
today.
don't you? You like this
And we'll get a good look at that in a minute. Peter Baker just going round semicircle, big roll as he goes round.
You know, I reckon he's got just as much to do in that as you do in a GR59. He's got so many inputs to, because I imagine the gigantic steering wheel, managing roll, managing body movement.
Now look, this little thing, this is planted, isn't it?
It's fantastic, isn't it? Oliver was we were chatting to him earlier. Lovely guy. Car's immaculately turned out. Really is. You go and have a look at it up close. It's absolutely stunning, people.
We don't see many Ginettas, but that particular model I think is particularly pretty. Very effective little car, and it's dead right with that little imp engine over the back, lightweight engine. little streamer in the back there.
Yeah.
Planted over the back wheels. Perfect.
Beautiful thing. Tim Cross now in his MG Midget, absolutely threading it beautifully through the S's. I sat next to him at lunch earlier. He had a jacket potato cheese and beans. Which
did he be Joe? Oh, that's good to know.
It's the ultimate race fuel, I think, if you're a driver. It certainly spurred him on. He's going really well. It's Tim. He's going to cross the line.
I've got to tell you, Lloyd had at least 3 lunches today.
Yeah.
You had a beef thing, which I wasn't very impressed with to look at, I've got to say. We won't name the company.
It was tasty. It was really tasty. It was really tasty.
It didn't look terribly appetizing.
I wish there was more of it, though.
And it needed a few vegetables, I think.
Possibly.
And maybe a bun thing round it.
Well, I think I asked for a bit of a special thing, and I think I kind of confused the system.
Did you?
So I think it's my own fault, really.
Well, never mind. Lloyd is hang on. The MGB, unfortunately, has died on the line here. But so we've got on the line, we've got Ted Elwes in the MGA. So I don't know what's happened to the MGB. A technical hitch, I think we described that. So this little MGA, pretty little things, aren't they? 1600cc 4-cylinder engines, aren't they?
B series or A series? Probably a B series, isn't it? I thought.
It's earlier than the B series engines. I think it's the A.
Would that be denoted by the MGA and MGB? Is that A series and B series?
Well, we probably need young Chris Stewart to tell us stuff like that,
Quite possibly, yeah. Well, Guy Loveridge, you probably know. Do you know what? Guy will be shouting at the telly going, it is this.
Guy Loveridge would be shouting at us, wouldn't he? He's at Goodwood, isn't he?
Yes, he is.
Radio.
Guy, if you see this, hope you're feeling better, mate.
Yeah, I think he's on the mend, and I think he's going to be at Chelsea Walsh next weekend, and he's meant to be staying at my little place next weekend. That's the plan, anyway.
Yeah, the Manor. Oxford Manor.
Well, I don't know about that. It's a rather modest little establishment.
Only one butler.
So, depends which wing he's going to stay in. Oh dear.
Clive Berry sideways in that Chrysler Sunbeam. Fantastic to see. And really rare little car, that, isn't it?
Yeah, it is actually, because it looks quite ordinary. And then back in the day, the Sunbeam TI was quite an ordinary little shopping car, wasn't it, really?
Yeah.
It was the Lotus Sunbeam was the hot version, which obviously had the big 2.2 litre in it. But this one actually said it's a remarkably original, real rust in it or anything like that, which has survived well, hasn't it?
Speaking of rust, Alpha Sud. Not much rust on this one, though. This one's absolutely stunning. This is Steve Dimmock's car. We were looking at this earlier. He's a bit of an expert in these, isn't he? Really, really beautifully prepared. I think this is the quickest of all the ones he's got, but it does look to me like he's got some...
Smoky Joe.
He's a bit of a Smoky Joe. I think he's got possibly some sort of radiator leak or something. It doesn't look like it's putting any fluid down. I think possibly... I think you might want to be getting across the line and turning that off, Steve.
It does definitely look like it's a slight...
Might be looking at his gauges in a minute and going, oh, crikey.
Well, Stephen Norris in the MGB, he's conked out. He's actually been doing some work on that Alpha Sud he was telling us earlier.
Okay.
So, but at the moment, Stephen's having a bit of a bad day, isn't he?
Well...
He's ground to a halt. We can't say he's come to an abrupt halt. He's just come to a gentle halt.
He's come to a very slow, gentle halt. Protracted halt.
He has.
All looks well. He's just obviously got some sort of... The thing is with stuff like this is it's you send them up and down the hill all day, and sometimes they can take the abuse, sometimes they can't. But they're old cars. It's not a problem. It'll get fixed. I think he'll be okay.
So, yes, I think we are approaching the end of today's fun. I think.
It has been fun, actually.
Yeah, it has been good fun, hasn't it?
I wouldn't expect it not to be fun.
And I have to say, Lloyd, you've acquitted yourself very well on your debut.
This is my Prescott Hillclimb debut. I tell you what, I love Prescott Hillclimb. It was one of my... there was an event... I've actually driven up here because my French roots. There was a great event here called Pugfest.
I didn't know you had French roots.
Oh, did you not? Yeah.
Did you?
I love French cars, man.
I thought they were blonde roots.
No,
I can't see.
But
are you?
Yeah.
The Hackett. Yes, of course, the Hackett. It comes to me now because back in the days of William the Conqueror and stuff.
Probably. I think I'm French and Irish and all sorts.
Hackett.
Well, Hackett is an Irish name.
Is it?
I believe I'm probably spiritually from France because I actually like French people.
Yeah, good folk.
Cars. I think their roads are amazing.
Yeah.
I think their food's nice. I think their cars are the best. That's just great.
Nothing wrong with France.
No, nothing wrong with France. Got a good football team as well, as we know.
Yeah, they've got some. Yeah, I've been to France a few times, and last visit was to Provence, down in the south. My sister had a place down there, which is now sold, but she had it for 16 years, in the Luberon district, which was beautiful.
Very nice.
And actually, we caught the high-speed train down to Avignon.
Okay. Yeah.
I know, it whizzes down, doesn't it?
Where does that go from? London, I assume?
Yeah, from
Paddington
London. St Pancras, I think.
Oh, yeah, that would make sense.
I think it's St Pancras.
Yeah.
And then it whizzes under the tunnel.
Yep.
And then it's flat chat down to Avignon.
Apparently, you can get to Brussels in, I think you can get to Brussels in about 4 hours from Paddington. So you can go from Paddington. I think there was a train directly to Brussels.
There is, and I've been to Brussels. I've been to Bruges actually.
Yeah.
On a high-speed train.
Was it Bruges or Brussels? Can't remember.
Well, Brussels is like, I think, the capital, isn't it? But Bruges, we went there a few years ago. Me and my missus. We caught a high-speed train to somewhere in France.
Yeah.
And then it just hops across back to Belgium and into Bruges.
Nice. Well, we're so well connected now with things like. I mean, I love driving across France. But speaking of driving, I think we're getting back up and running again. In this beautiful Chevron of Richard George, and nice to see it's been fixed after its little faux pas at Shelsley. Minor faux pas.
Well, I didn't expect to see that car have a faux pas.
No, it's always so beautiful.
Because actually, we know that that's a historic, very valuable, beautiful thing. And with a real history to it.
I can only imagine there must have been some sort of mechanical, maybe a brake failure or something.
Who knows? But luckily, it's back in the game.
Indeed.
And, so, Richard George on the hill. Amanda's just there, close by. She's been watching it go off the line. And then we'll have Ryan Emer in the Austin Healey Sprite. And then I haven't seen any other cars getting ready to go, but we will get confirmation of that in due course.
I always know when we're done when the marshals move.
Well, this is true. So now, I know you've not been here before, but you've not had the joys of commentating in the shower cubicle, as we call it, just up there.
It doesn't sound like I need to have the joys.
Do you know what? You don't want to have the joys of the shower cubicle. And on a hot day, oh my goodness me, you need a shower. It's that hot in there.
Yeah.
And of course, you've got hill control on your left-hand side.
Sounds like I've dodged a bullet.
And you've come straight in to like the Paris Hilton now,
Yeah, mate, honestly, this is like
look at this. I mean, we've got all this space. I know, it's outrageous, isn't it? Outrageous. So I am seeing what to me looks a bit like a course car getting ready to rumble. Yeah. So, I'm going to say to you now, don't leave us just yet, but we could well be towards the end. Now, Ryan Emer finishes in a 51.64. We are going to be back tomorrow for another full day, but tomorrow we're going to have a practice run in the morning.
Yep.
Come what may.
Yep.
And then we're going to have time runs.
Yep.
And then we're going to have a top 10 runoff for the tin tops.
Yep.
And a top 12 runoff for the big single seaters, or mostly single seaters.
Yep.
Probably all single seaters, unless one of the 4-wheel drive cars, tin tops, could get in which has happened. It has happened.
Yeah.
And then in the afternoon, we'll have another competitive run.
Yeah.
And then we'll have some more runoffs.
We will indeed. Well, I'm really, really looking forward to tomorrow. It's always exciting, even when there's nothing to play for, but it's even better. It's that extra sprinkle when you've got something to play for, because now everybody will have points, and points mean prizes.
Points mean prizes.
So, join us for a full day of competitive runs tomorrow. Please do subscribe to us overnight. We'd love to see. We've got another 5 subscribers since we last.
Fantastic. Keep them coming.
16,000 subscribers.
Keep them coming. Doesn't cost you anything to subscribe.
Keep watching. Have us on in the background.
Press that subscribe button.
Have us on in the background while you're cutting your lawn, doing your housework, whatever it is you made it. If you don't want to leave the house, don't leave the house, but at least have us on in the background. I think that's about it from today, isn't it?
Do you know what? Yeah, so we've got Lloyd Hackett on my left here. His first debut.
My debut.
Yeah. I'm Chris Ponsford, and of course Owen Cool, who's presenting some prizes up the top or something. We'll be back tomorrow for another play. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you for all our marshals. Done another amazing job. And I think that is end of play, and we are signing off. Thank you very much.
Thank you, and good night. Drive safe.
Well,